Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where we are back for another episode of Wayne Sharp Week, highlighting the knives that are going to be in my pocket for the next 5 days. This is also after a week off. I hopped on a jet and went out west to do some hiking and explore some national parks. Had to take a little time off, so I wasn't able to upload anything. Hope everyone had a great last week, and I am back to take on this week, and I've got a nice lineup of knives to do that with. Before I get into that list, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. And also a huge thank you to my lovely sponsors up here, DLT Trading, Mojave Outdoors, and White Mountain Knives. Look them up for all of your knife and EDC needs. And with all that said, let's get right into it and take a look at the knives that are going to be in my pockets for this week. First off, we're going to start off with this guy right here. And I've talked about this knife before, I've praised it before, and I have a little more good things to say about it. This is the Tucson TS-129. You guys have seen this if you've been following my channel for a while now. You've seen it plenty of times, from front flipper content to cutout content to fidget factor and just overall value. This is a fantastic knife. I got this probably a year and a half ago now, and never disassembled it and cleaned it. It came out of the box from Tucson with a lot of oil on it. I wiped it down, and it looked fine to me, so I just went with it. And just recently, I finally decided to disassemble it and clean it because it was starting to get a little gummy on me, and wow, I have got to say, this, I wish I would have done it once I got it. I've always heard you should disassemble and clean Tucsons because there's a lot of oil and the oil can dry up and get nasty and gunky. And, you know, it started to get a little nasty and gunky on me, but it still was what I thought was acceptable action and not enough to bother me to go through all the hassle of disassembling and cleaning it. Now that I have, oh my God, this is a ridiculously stupid smooth knife. With the same great ergos and aesthetics and fidget factor that it's always had, it is just so much smoother. Smoother by a mile. It really is. The bearings in here are fantastic, and this blade shape is still amazing. I can easily, confidently, 100% say this is the best Tucson knife ever made, in my opinion. Just my opinion, but I have a very strong feeling about that because these ergos are just so good. The handle fits your hand so well, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful design. I really do love everything about this knife. Titanium, carbon fiber, M390, buttery smooth action, excellent middle finger deployment, really good front flipping deployment, and a big powerful blade on top of all of it. Guys, this is the Tucson. If you're ever thinking about getting a Tucson, this is the one to get. And for $129.99 for all this at a time when inflation and prices are going up, this is a phenomenal deal. And it's actually in stock right now. I have it. It's going to be linked in the video. It's going to take you over to Amazon. You used to have to play the eBay game all the time to get these knives from Tucson. You don't anymore, at least not for all of them. They're very much available on Amazon. I'm going to have this one linked below. And if anyone ever asks me, what Tucson knife should I get? This is it. This is absolutely it. If you want a good middle finger flicker or a front flipper at a reasonable cost with premium materials, this is it. This is it. I won't say it anymore, but this is just a phenomenal knife, and it is becoming one of my all-time favorites. So I'm going to carry it again, and I'm going to very much enjoy this, the Tucson TS-129. Next up, I've got another one that I really enjoyed from this year. This is the Kizer Original, a Mojave Outdoor exclusive. And I think right now it's still probably, it's debatable and it is close, but I think if I had to pick one right now, my favorite button lock of the year, I think so far it would be this Kizer Original. Just a nice, clean design. Somewhat minimal, but it just feels great in hand with a nice size blade, a 3-inch blade. Killer action on this button lock. Excellent detent. No lock stick whatsoever. Super smooth knife, and just a very classy. This could really almost be a gentleman's carry. it walks a fine line, but if nothing else, it's a great, just a little casual carry. It's not too tactical. It's not too big. It's just an excellent EDC knife. And this is another one. It's available right now. These sold out like crazy numerous times. There's finally some in stock right now online. I'll have this link below too to, this is Mojave Outdoors Amazon website, so you can use, or Amazon listing, so you can use my code right there, Wayne's World, for 10% off one of these. They have a couple colors available. This is definitely, if you haven't tried a button lock yet this year and you want to try one and you like thumb studs, this is it. 100% it. Fantastic knife, the Kizer original. Next up, I got another Kizer, but one that I think more people have heard of and know of. It's an older model. This is the Kizer Feist, and it took me long enough to finally get one of these in hand, but now that I've not only handled one, but I think I've handled 4 or 5 at this point, it truly is one of the best small front flippers that's ever come out. I don't know if I'd call it the best, but it's really good, and there's so many options of what type of Feist do you want? Do you want a reverse tanto? Do you want a drop point? Do you want a spear point? Do you want burlap scales? Do you want white micarta scales? Do you want G10 scales or carbon fiber scales? Do you want milling patterns in the handle or not? There's so many options for the Feist. The flavors are just endless, and there's a lot of them available right now. There's, I think, 3 or 4 available, which I'll have linked, of course, in this video to check this out. But it's just a great little knife. In my opinion, this could definitely pass as a gentleman's carry because it's so nice and small. Of course, that kind of depends on what flavor you get. There's coated blades, non-coated blades. I could literally go on and on with the combination of what type of Feist you could get. But that's one of the things that's so great about it, is it has so many varieties and options to it. That variety really is, when it comes to knives or anything else, variety is the spice of life. It's always nice to have those options, and you really do have so many options with this knife. It's really hard to go wrong with it unless you just really don't like front flippers. It is reach around approved, and it's just a very nice little knife. I will say this is one of the more, at first, it takes a little practice to deploy this front flipper because it has a little bit of a more, smaller front flipper tab. Not quite as easy in the hand as some, but once you get it down, it is super easy. I'm not saying it's a hard front flipper. You just maybe have to get a little more comfortable with it at the first time. But if you have front flippers before and you're okay with them, you're not going to have any problem with this. If you're someone that struggles with front flippers, this is maybe one you have to practice with a little at first. But it really is just a great piece with super smooth action. And this one specifically, the burlap micarta, has a very nice light but not too light detent. Deploying this blade is a breeze. Really, it's hard to go wrong with the Feist. It really is. If you like small front flippers, you've got to try one of these out. They're pretty much, almost all of them are under $100. All the newer ones that have come out lately are in the $69 to $99 range, and they just have some nice steals with 3V to S35 to 154 CM, different steel options, a lot of options, but it really is just a great knife. Another one that I would recommend, and another one that's going to be in my pocket this week, the Kizer Feist. Next up, I've got the latest and greatest, well, the latest CIVI button lock, and it is great, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say it's the greatest because, like I said, I do think the Kizer original is just a little better, but this is also a very different button lock. This has a flipper, and it also has this excellent little fuller area here that allows you to easily middle finger flick that blade, and it's something I am very much a very big fan of. In terms of pure fidget factor, I think this is the best button lock so far this year. You guys know me, fidget factor is kind of an important thing, and I know it's an important thing to a lot of other people, so I like to specify that. It's so easy to middle finger flick this blade out, and it's so satisfying. So satisfying in the button. Easy close on the button lock. Very nice flipper action, and very good feel in hand. This is a somewhat bigger knife. I don't know if I'd classify it as a big knife. It's probably somewhere in between that medium and large size. But a nice size blade. I want to say this is 3.7 inch blade, maybe 3.5 to 3.7 inches. So a good sized blade, a nice wide, thin, slicey blade with a full handle that's somewhat neutral, but I think it's going to fit a lot of hands just fine, especially if you like to use that choilish area. It's going to feel really, really good in the hand for you. And just really is a nice, clean, attractive design from CIVI. They blacked out that CIVI C, which is great for me. You guys know I like seeing that. It kind of helps dim it down, and it works really well with this black micarta. Another one, it's actually in stock again. I think the companies are finally able to get caught up on the demand of some of these button lock, not just button lock knives, but knives in general for this year. Supply chain's been a nightmare for a lot of companies, and I don't think we're past that struggle yet, but I think some of the companies are finally getting caught up. So very, very nice to know. This will all be listed, also be listed below. The CIVI Conspirator, a great flipper / middle finger flicking deployment button lock knife. So good. Next up and last up is probably one of the oldest knives that you can see right now. Well, maybe not oldest. I think it's a really old knife, but it's not really that old. The Benchmade Bugout. And why am I carrying the Benchmade Bugout? Because I go on record to say that the Hogue Deca, so many other Axis style locks or crossbar style locks are better than Benchmade. But you know what? The Bugout is still good. I mean, you can't deny that it's not a good knife. It may not be my favorite, but there's also something that I like about the Bugout that is just simple, very, very simple. You know, it has nice lines, but it's just a Bugout. It really, you know, I don't think it excels over any other knife, especially when you do what I did and put heavy scales on it. So that kind of takes away the lightness factor, but it still just feels good in hand. It really does have a nice blade, and I do still like Benchmade as a company. They have their flaws, they really do, but they still make good knives at the end of the day, and make them all here in America. So it's still a brand I like to support, and I still enjoy the few Benchmade knives I have. I have a 940, a Bugout, and what else? I have one more. I can't think of what it is. But I have 3 Benchmades, and I do enjoy them. And the Bugout is one I enjoy, and it's still one. You know, I wouldn't tell anyone not to get a Benchmade, but they're just not one of my first. They're not one of my first choices. But this week they're one of my choices, and this is the Benchmade Bugout. So there you go, guys. There's this week's carry. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I hope your carry is just as good, if not better than mine. They usually are. Let me know what you guys have in your pocket this week. I'm happy to be back. I'm a little depressed to be back in the Midwest after an amazing week out in Arizona and Utah, but hey, that's life. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And until the next one, I'm out.